maybe you had the same idea I did and many other people have had, and you wanted to put one of these Chinese 196cc diesels on your mini bike. I'm not certain that every single one of these issues is going to be an issue you're going to run into depending on your frame. This is, I picked this thing up off a marketplace. I have no idea. I think it's just some homemade job. So I ran into quite a few issues. It's not to say that you'll run into all these if you're running like a Coleman. I've never attempted one of these and it's not finished yet, but just wanted to make a quick little video and talk about a couple of things that I noticed and things I did to make it work. So first and foremost is I wanted to run the torque converter because the shaft put the clutch so far out, even with the engine pushed all the way over, that there was absolutely no way it was going to line up with the rear sprocket. So with the torque converter, I figured that got my front sprocket, pretty much in line here with as close to the side of the case as it could be, which would have been perfect. And it is. I'm still waiting on my wheels, but with the old ones, I've mocked it up and it's pretty spot on. So the issues that arose from wanting to run the torque converter was, since the diesel has the injection pump right here, it's got a bump out on the side of the block. Well, that bump out doesn't allow your jack shaft to sit right here. So instead of having the torque converter kind of horizontal, you kind of have it cocked down at an angle to get it to clear that pump. So that means the bottom of this comes way too far down. So what I ended up doing was I'll put the links, these are going to be affiliate links, so I will get a kickback if you guys order from this link, but this is just going to go back into the channel. I'm just going to buy something else to mess around with and play with and see what we can do with and make videos on it. So it's nothing major. I'm not making a fortune off of it, but I need to disclose it. So this plate down here is a 1/2 inch, I believe is what it was. And then this was a torque converter riser, engine plate adapter. And I ended up mashing the two of those together to get, I think it was 2 1/4 inch rise out of it. And even had to go further and trim the bottom of the torque plate, mounting plate, because it just so happened to land right on top of my frame rail. But with everything accounted for, it's on. It appears like it's going to work. Obviously haven't been able to run it yet, but it spins, nothing's hitting. The other thing is there's probably been plenty of videos made on the throttle. What I did here is this piece is actually the throttle stop that comes threaded into here, and it is the perfect size for your throttle cable end. It just kind of slides in there, and then I'm going to pinch it like I did up top and just crimp it, and then I can uncrimp it, buy a new one if I need to replace it, whatever, I really don't care. But it's got a hole in it, so that's really nice. So then your cable can just slide right up through there, and try to get in here, and then you can just slide it right up through that hole, and then I'm going to put my own end on it. And that way, when I twist my throttle, it'll pull this down. Now it kind of gets at a little bit of an angle there at full throttle, but once you get to a certain point, it doesn't rev anymore anyways. It's only given so much. So I'm not really concerned about that. Now, I did end up taking, since the stock configuration is you set it where you want it, tighten this knob, set it and forget it. And then to shut it off, you loosen it and let it go all the way back to 0 throttle, and that's what kills the governor. So I'm going to take a small bolt. I ended up wedging this with a nut and locking it so it can't vibrate and get tight or loose and fall off on me, because it's still holding this rod through here. So now that it can't get tight or loosen, I'm going to take a small bolt or something and run it through here at the top, through that, and then put a nut on the other side and clamp it. That way it holds the throttle just slightly open. That way I don't have to sit here and try to hold the throttle while I'm trying to start it every time, because if it's sitting up like that, it's in the off position, it's not going to start. That's the kill switch pretty much. Since it's a diesel and it's a manual pump, there's no stator, no electronics, no kill switch, no nothing on this. So just going to shim the throttle here so it stays just slightly open and makes starting it a whole lot easier. So, and then for the kill switch, I'm going to take some kind of rod, I haven't decided yet, and then I'm going to put a loop on the end of it for a finger and probably run it right here, drill a hole in this, that way it can run through and rest. And then if you can see back in there, here's the governor arm. I'm just going to hook it onto the end. There's a bunch of different holes there that this spring here is attached to. That way when I'm ready to shut it off, I can just push that arm that I have out here, and it's going to push that governor back and kill the engine. And I'm not going to have to worry about shutting it off with my throttle or messing with that. It can stay locked and on the start position. Then we'll be good. The last thing is the air filter. So cut this breather up out of the way until I find a good spot for it. The air filter, you can get the Predator 212 air filter kits with the adapter. Now the only thing is these don't have carbs, obviously, so all this is recessed way back in here versus on like your gas ones. Your carb brings it all the way out here, makes it real nice. And this is literally just a diesel version of one of these. So come back over, and is what I did for that was this engine cover's in your way. Now it's not the prettiest job in the world. I had to do some bending because I didn't cut quite enough, but I just ended up trimming all this out until I could fit the adapter and the boot in there. I'll have some more updates as we go, and hopefully the next week or so I've got a maiden voyage video of it. So thanks.